In 2025, I made a few purchases that I absolutely love, but I never made videos about. And to me, this is almost better than a traditional product review because this is the stuff that you find yourself reaching for all the time. And of course, all of these products will be listed and linked in the description below. Now, my first one is a jacket that I bought from Patagonia Workwear. I think it's called something like the Steel Forge Puffer Jacket, or what? It's basically a parka length puffer jacket that doesn't look super duper technical, and that's why I bought it. And I don't have a whole lot of jackets that are parka length. Most of what I have kind of sits at the hip. The first thing that I love about this coat is that it's very warm, but it's not heavy. A lot of times those two things are sort of at odds with another, but they use something called thermogreen insulation. There's 150 grams inside of it, and the actual parka itself weighs only, I think, a little over 30 grams. So it's very lightweight, and it's something that's easy to wear. The second thing I like is the pocket layout. This is something I don't think people talk about enough. Because if the pockets aren't where you need them, or if it's awkward to put your hands in there or whatever it is, you're not gonna end up wearing it that much. And the third thing that I really like about it was the colorway. I mean, it has a great sort of drab, almost military style color to it. Now, the things I didn't like, because even the greatest products have something that you probably would change about them. And the first thing is, even though Patagonia says it has a DWR coating, it either wore off really quickly or it was just not very effective, because I would wear it a few times, like I said, with my rucksack on, and I would be walking or whatever, and it would be snowing, and I noticed that it wasn't beading up and then like coming off. It would sort of soak in. The other thing I don't like, and I think it just comes with this type of fabric, is that it's pretty noisy. I mean, like, you're not sneaking up on anybody with this jacket. It's got that swish swish kind of feel to it. And the third thing is that it is pretty expensive. At 250 bucks, it's not cheap, but I can really think of more jackets that are more expensive than this than ones that are cheaper. So I think it's still a good value, but oftentimes when you tell somebody they're gonna have to spend north of $200 for a jacket, they tend to tune out. I've learned that over, the many videos that I've made here. So it's expensive, but I'd still say it's a good value. One quick note, if you do decide to go and buy this or any other Patagonia workwear product, is that with the workwear line, Patagonia tends to oversize them. Originally, I had bought a large in something else that they made, and I was swimming in it. So I bought this in a medium. Now, that being said, I kind of wish I had maybe sized up just to layer underneath it, but just know that they do run a little bit large. Now, none of these products are inexpensive, but like they say, they're not cheap because they're not cheap. And if you're having a hard time affording something great for yourself, well, that's where this video's sponsor, Clover, might come in handy. Need a little extra cash? Well, with Clover, you can access up to $400 with no credit check and no late fees. Sometimes these things are limited. So, you see something you want to buy, you know that it's probably going to be sold out like next week, and you got to jump on it now, but maybe you get paid next month. That could put you in a spot where, you want to get it, but you just don't have the means at the moment. And again, that's where something like Clover can really help you out. Clover also has a very intuitive app that will let you know what you're qualified for almost instantly, so you know what you're working with. So many times apps, you download them, they're full of ads, they're just useless or whatever, but this one actually works. Now, not all users will qualify. Advances range from $25 to $400, with the average advance being $160. Express transfer fees may apply. Thank you so much to Clover for sponsoring this video. It's because of sponsors like this that I can keep these videos coming to you, so please show them some love by clicking the link in the description below. Anyway, back to the video. Now, next up, this year I bought more proper cloth flannels, and proper cloth, man. I don't know if this is a recent thing or if I'm just learning about it now, but Proper Cloth makes some really awesome flannels. Now, as somebody who loves Ironheart and a lot of those Japanese niche brands because of the character and the build quality, but the fit doesn't fit my body type, oftentimes I'm crestfallen when I buy like a $360 flannel. I know, and then it doesn't fit me. That'll bum you out. What I love about Proper Cloth is that you can do these things made to measure. So you measure yourself, you can adjust things, like even for a watch allowance. I'm left-handed, so I wear my watch on my right hand. You can make the cuff a little bit bigger on that side. You can really dial in the fit. The second thing I like is that they are comfortable and warm. I mean, just like a flannel should be, it has some nice loft to it, and there are a few different lines that they have. I know that the Japanese low twist is one of my favorites, but there's a few others that I got. One was, I think, some sort of ranch wear or something like that. They're all a little bit different, but they're exactly what you want in a flannel. And the colorways that they have are excellent. Some of the best I've ever seen. A lot of them are really way more subtle and sort of have this, I love it when a flannel almost looks like it's sort of glowing, you know, when they use some earth tones and then it's offset by maybe a little bit of red or orange or something like that. That sort of, I guess it's sort of like a fireplace kind of thing, is really appealing to me. And they have several in that colorway that I really, really like. Now the bad, I mean, I'm really gonna be kind of grasping at straws here, but they're on the expensive side. I mean, we're talking south of $200, but still, when people are, again, paying over $100 for a flannel shirt, I tend to get some commenters who don't like that very much. But with the customization and the quality of the fabric that you're getting, I still think these are a smoking deal. As a matter of fact, if there's anything I regret about it, I wish I had bought more. The second thing I don't like about them is often when I wear a flannel shirt, it's everywhere. I wear it to work, I wear it casually, I just wear them like I wear jeans for the most part. And these can feel too nice to wear to work, because I like them so much, and I don't want to ruin them. So I find myself sort of maybe not wearing them as much as I should, and that can be a downside. And the third thing I don't like is the buttons are kind of small. I like workwear flannels because they have these big chunky buttons. I think Duluth Trading Company probably has the biggest buttons on a flannel I've ever used, but they work really well, and I've noticed that a few times, you know, the button here or something like that will have almost undone itself. And so I wish they went with a slightly bigger button for these. But I'm serious, these are some of the best flannels that I've ever had, and I've tried a ton of them. I've done flannel guides every single year for several years now, and I've tried a lot of different flannels. These are some of the best, and most of that is because of the fit. There's nothing weird about it. I mean, I've had flannels where the cuff is just gigantic, ones where they're tight in one place or another, but these things, once you get that fit dialed in, it's just perfect. And the fact that you have some really great fabrics to choose from makes it, I mean, you have a perfectly fitting, gorgeous looking flannel. Who can ask for more than that? Next up is my Limmer custom boots. These have been a long time coming. I can't remember where I first heard of Limmer, but I was digging deep, trying to find the best hiking boots that money could buy. And I came across this small brand in New Hampshire called Limmer. And at the time, you know, they had a very rudimentary website, not much of an online presence at all. And I was kind of thinking to myself, are they going out of business? Well, they weren't, and I emailed them, and I ended up finding out that they had something like a 2-year wait list. And so I said, well, okay, no problem. I mean, I can wait. Eventually, my number was up. That sounds bad, but it was good. And I ended up going to Intervale, New Hampshire, getting measured for them, and getting a pair of boots that are unlike anything that I own currently. The stitching is beautiful. Even the pattern is unique, and there's so much history to Limmer that these are, if I didn't put these as almost my crown jewel, I would be mistaken. So the first thing that I like is that they feel like they're gonna last forever. They do. They have that sort of heft that you know that there's a lot to them. The second thing, again, kind of like the proper cloth, is that they're made to your feet. Now, my feet aren't all that strange. I'm usually an E width in most boots, but my left foot sort of has this kind of bony ridge at the top of it, the instep is what they call it. And I find that a lot of times with laceless boots, I get a lot of pressure right there. They were able to make a set of lasts that are perfectly sized to my feet and accommodate for everything that I have going on, and they fit perfectly. The third thing is the overall vibe of Limmer. When you do go to their shop at Intervale, it sort of feels like you're stepping back in time a little bit. You go into this, you open this old wooden door that has this, I think it's like a cowbell or some sort of like antique bells on it. You walk across a wooden floor that creaks. You can tell the place has been there forever. And then when you go inside, you meet some of the most lovely people making your boots. And I had some great conversations with people while they're hammering away, and it's just really cool to know that the people who are making your stuff are as invested in it as you are. Now the bad, there are literally years of waiting. It takes a long time, and that's just because their backlog is so big, you know. And I'm sure this video won't help, but you know, if you want to get in on the ground floor, get in now. The second thing is they are expensive. There's no doubt about it. Depending on your options, I think the price really just changes. So you can outfit them a number of different ways, even though they all kind of look the same. You can choose your midsole, a lot of different things that they can do. So they're expensive, there's no doubt about it. But they also have a stock program, so they have stock boots that you can buy right now if you kind of want to try this style of boot without all the customization. And those aren't cheap either, but it's a good way to sort of, if you're on the fence and you're saying, I'm not sure if these are for me or not, that's a good way to test it out. The third thing is that the break-in can be brutal. Now, even though they were made to my feet, the break-in, just because there's a lot of leather there, I'm used to a tough break-in. This was pretty rough. There were some spots that definitely needed some, you know, working and massaging to become really comfortable. But after not too long, they were no problem at all. Now, they're heavy, they're sturdy boots, so you have to be used to that and ready for it. And actually, I found that the break-in on their stock boots, which I bought maybe a year before I got these, was actually more difficult than the custom ones. Again, probably just because those were made to my feet and the stock ones weren't. Limmer, though, I think is a great example of great things come to those who wait. You can't get them right away, but when you do have a pair of custom Limmers especially, you feel like you've been welcomed into a very elite club. I mean, they even do things like Limmerfest, and there's so many people out there who have so many incredible stories about them that it feels like you now belong to something that's legendary and important. Number 4 is the Leatherman ARC. Now, I am a longtime Leatherman fan, so take that as you may, okay? I know there are other great brands out there. A lot of people like Victorinox and Gerber, SOG, whatever. Multi-tools, I think, are an interesting thing in general. And I just want to sort of talk about that for a second, because if you accept becoming a multi-tool kind of person, and I mean like keeping one on your belt, like my dad and his friends all carried Leathermans on their belt. And even though it gets in the way and it doesn't look good and it makes your shirt kind of stick out on one side, you're prioritizing the fact that you can be useful and you can help people and you have that handy tool with almost everything in it at just a reach. And you're that guy. To me, there's something much deeper that says. If you're a multi-tool kind of guy, I don't know, you're my kind of people. Now, I got this as a replacement for my Leatherman Free P2, which I've had for a few years. It's really good, but you know what? I gotta tell you, for no other reason, that Magna Cut blade got me. I was like, I wanted that, and I thought that the Free P2 was almost perfect, but the blade, the Magna Cut, I was drawn in. What can I say? Now, the good, they have really refined this. Now, I actually have, maybe not the first, but one of the first Leatherman super tools. This was a gift that I got in high school, and I still have it. It's one of those deals that now I've sort of retired it and I just bring it out for demonstration purposes, but I love it. I have a lot of good memories of that. That was not a one-handed tool though, because you had to open it up. The tools actually came out from the inside, so you needed 2 hands. Over time, they've refined it, and now it's so good that literally you could be holding the thing you're working on, bring it out, and access any of the tools with one hand without a whole lot of practice either. The second, all of the tools feel solid and smooth. There's even replaceable bits in the 2 little screwdrivers that are on there. The Magna Cut blade has a really nice deployment, feels good, stays sharp. I even like the blade shape on it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is the best multi-tool I've ever used. With that blade and everything I've just mentioned, it has leveled up. I've had about 4 Leatherman throughout the years, and this is the best one yet. Now, the bad. It's expensive. It is, I think it's about double what my Free P2 was. And the thing is that the P2, it really was kind of 75% of what the ARC is. It does so much of what it's just really, they're in the same family. And I think that if you were to go with the P2 and you really didn't care about the blade and all those other things, you'd be perfectly happy. And I'm just a snob, so I got this and I think it's the best. But it's like, it's that diminishing return kind of thing. Is it twice as good as the P2? I don't think so, but if you're looking for the best of the best, that's what I think it is. The other thing is that since it's so expensive, I find myself kind of babying it a little bit. You know, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to damage it because it's expensive, and I find myself maybe not using it as much as I should, which I think kind of goes against the whole thing of a multi-tool. But that's all in my head, and I think once the newness rubs off, it's kind of like when you get the first scratch in your car, you get over it pretty quick. Now, my 5th and final thing is the Carhartt Montana vest. I think that's what it's called. Now, I got this because I love vests. I have a lot of them, but they all are lighter weight. So I have some wool ones, I have some sort of lighter weight puffer vests, but I don't have a really heavy, like Marty McFly style vest. And I saw this, I was curious about the Montana series, and I bought it, and I was very impressed. The good things about it, it is insanely warm. Like, I am really wondering what they put for insulation on the inside of this thing, because holy moly, is it warm. One of the things I noticed is that they actually have a back panel of their Sherpa. And I started noticing this on a couple of different companies, and I wonder if there's something to that back panel that makes overall warmth feel greater. I don't know. But, you know, it's a dense vest, it's big, it's puffy, so there's a lot of air trapped in there, but this really can take the place of a lot of my jackets in the colder weather. A lot of times I find myself wearing something like this, like a, you know, a hoodie or a sweatshirt, and then throwing that over it. I'm good to like 30 degrees without a problem. It's also very easy to use daily with a pocket layout that I understand and get. And so you have your hand warmer pockets, you have a chest pocket here, which is perfect to put your phone in. I mean, it's like custom made. And the third thing is that the face fabric of this vest is stronger than you think. When you look at it online, to me, it almost seemed like a little bit of technical wear, but when you get it, it has some tooth to it. When you touch it, you're like, there's some texture and some durability there. And you know, Carhartt, I know that's their #1 thing. They want to be the durable workwear company. And I think that this thing is gonna be, you'd really have to do something pretty serious to abrade it or to cut through it. Now the bad, the interior pocket leaves a lot to be desired. It's basically a little flap of like mesh fabric, and it's just, I'm like, it wasn't an afterthought. I mean, I have a couple of jackets that do this where they have sort of like a mesh thing on the inside. I don't like that. Just give me a regular pocket. The second thing is that it's hard to layer over. Now, most of my other vests I can wear beneath a leather jacket or any other type of jacket just for another layer of warmth. This is not going to be a mid layer unless you had something really big to go on the top of it, because it's bulky. I really feel like this is a piece of outerwear. So that can be a little bit strange with a vest because your sleeves are sort of up to whatever you're wearing beneath it, but there's no way you're going to easily be able to layer over the top of this thing. And the third thing, maybe this doesn't matter to you, but it's not going to be your kind of like finance bro tech vest. I know that's a thing that a lot of people are doing now. They'll wear like a dress shirt and a tech vest over the top of that, and that's sort of like office casual for a lot of people. This is not going to look like that. It's too big, it's too bulky, it's workwear. This is not that. So if that's what you're looking for, you're going to be sadly disappointed. But I will tell you this has been one of the things that I have reached for more than almost anything else, because it is super easy to just throw on over whatever you have and just have another layer of warmth. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. If it's bulky like this, there's no sleeves to worry about. It's probably the thing that I've reached for at my door the most. Now, I would buy all of these products again, but there are some things that I would change. So the first thing is that I would order that Patagonia in the next size up. I think I got it in a size medium because I knew their stuff ran big, but because I can't really layer beneath it well, I probably would have ordered a size large. Even though it would have been long in the sleeves or whatever, I think it would have been okay because then I could really put on some more layers beneath it. But either way, it's great and I wear it as is. I'd also skip getting the Leatherman premium leather sheath. The sheath I felt like I could have had my buddy over at 5 Mile Mercantile make a better version of. And actually, I find that I use the sheath from the P2, that ballistic nylon one, more than I use the leather one. I was hoping for almost a replacement for my original Leatherman sheath. This is it's just not that good. And third, I would actually buy more proper cloth flannels because some of the colors that I really liked are sold out. So, you know, there were a few of them that I was like, maybe not now, but maybe in the future, and now I don't have the capability or the option to buy them anymore. So I'm kind of bummed that I didn't jump on them when I had the chance. So my advice to you is if you see one, you're just like, oh, I gotta have it, jump on it, because I guess they sell out. So I don't want you to lose out on that. So there you go. There are the 5 products that I use all the time that I never made a video about. Let me know though, what are the best things that you bought last year? There are some of them, I know, and a lot of times the way that I make my next purchase is by looking at comments and seeing what other people like. So drop a comment below, let me know what you think. Thank you so much to Clover for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you for watching it, and I'll catch you in the next one.